guest this evening is going to be performing in the Toyota Comedy Festival at the Gotham right here in New York City. Please welcome the very funny Greg Giraldo.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Conan. Hello, everybody. It's good to be back here in New York, where I live. I've been traveling a lot on the road. I went to a Hooters restaurant. You ever been in a Hooters restaurant? Yeah! Man, let me tell you something. If you don't think that men still control society, just go to a Hooters restaurant on like a Sunday afternoon. Because you got guys in there with their wives and kids. Their wives and kids eating at a Hooters. You can be pretty sure there's never going to be a place called Ball Sacks, you know what I mean? Where like a wife drags her husband and kids down for brunch served by a bodybuilder in a jockstrap. That's not going to happen. My parents have been married 33 years now. That's almost as long as I've been alive, which is pretty dramatic. My father is Colombian. You know what he does for a job now? He works as a translator in the criminal courts. He translates for defendants that don't speak English, but he hates all the defendants. I can't imagine what kind of translating he's doing. Soy inocente. Dile que soy inocente. He says he did it. Speaking of translating and courts, this Elian Gonzalez kid, you know what? Let me tell you something. I'm really disturbed by the reaction people are having to this kid. They were like, man, I'm sick of this kid. I hate this kid. I'm sick of him. He's a 6-year-old kid. It's a dramatic story, you know? I heard this guy the other day say, man, I'm sick of this kid. The other day it was on TV for 15 hours straight. Hey, you know what? You're not supposed to watch TV for 15 hours straight. Why don't you get a hobby or go for a swim and look for the irony in that? You know what I mean? It's a tough situation. I don't know what the answers are, right? They say, well, we can't send him back to Cuba because it's ruled by an angry Latin dictator. So was my house. Where was my pre-dawn raid? Where were my protesters to stand between me and my father the time I got caught shoplifting that Charleston Chew that time? I could have used some backup. Then now they want to ask him where he wants to go. He's 6 years old. They want to ask the kid where he wants to be. He doesn't know. He doesn't even know where he is. He's 6 years old. Have you ever been to Miami? It's hard enough for a grown-up to tell the difference between Cuba and Miami. This kid is 6 years old. It's just flattering that he wants to come here. I mean, this country, to me, is falling apart. Look at the people we're turning into celebrities. Monica Lewinsky. All she did was go down on the president, and now she's a rich celebrity. Do you remember the old days when if you wanted to be a celebrity, you actually had to cut a penis off and throw it out of a moving car? You had to... Our society is falling apart. Our kids are getting dumber all the time. There was a study recently where they compared the math and science skills of 12th graders in 25 different countries. You know where the United States finished? Third from the bottom. Third from the bottom, just ahead of Cyprus. My first thought was, man, we got some really stupid kids. And then I thought, I didn't even know Cyprus was a country. Because I went to school in America. And our American schools are terrible. We don't learn anything. You ever talk to a European person? Sometimes you have no choice. They know everything. Europeans know more about America than we'll ever know. I don't know if their schools are better, or maybe they just don't smoke pot at lunchtime, or I don't know what they do over there, but they know everything. They know everything. You talk to a European, they're like, you know, the U.S. could have easily lost its independence during the War of 1812. And you're like, all right. You say so, I'll take your word for it. You try to think of the one thing you know about Europe, you know, you're like, French chicks got hairy pits, right? I know some stuff. You look at Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. That show was a British show, and they brought it over here. They had to dumb it down and make it easier for American audiences. And the show's a huge hit. It's going to be on the air forever. What's it going to be like in 10 years? For $10 million, what does the A in USA stand for? Is it A, America, or B, cucumber? I got to use my lifeline, Regis. I got to call my friend Hans. He's a 4-year-old in Holland. He knows all this stuff. Our society is deteriorating. I read a book recently, and it was filled with letters that soldiers during the Civil War wrote to their girlfriends back home. Now, these were kids. They were 16-year-old kids. Most of them had never even been to school. And yet every letter in the book was incredible. Every single letter was like, my dearest Hannah, this morn finds me racked by the fiery pangs of your absence. I'll bear your cherished memory with me as I battle the forces of tyranny and oppression. Now, think about what the typical letter from your average Gulf War soldier to his girlfriend back home in, like, Brooklyn must have read like.
Dear Marie, it is hot as piss out here. It is very, very hot out here because I am in the desert. What else did I want to ask you? Oh yeah, don't screw nobody till I get back.
Hey, thank you all very, very much. Appreciate it.
That's really funny. Well, Giraldo, everybody. We'll take a break. When we come back, Henry Alford's here.